Poet Weekly, week 40. How's everybody doing out there? New week, new poem. This one's entitled Blame Game, and it goes a little something like this. Hopefully you guys like it. When did it all begin? When will it all end? All this shameless excuse passing I see on a daily basis. Why has the blame game in our lives become something to trend as if we were all characters attached to a pound symbol on Twitter? Going out on a reckless binge, when did it become okay for all of us from the comforts of our home or off the signal passing through our cell phones to have the ridiculous courage to say that the reason that this happened or didn't happen is because so-and-so and what's-his-face said or stopped me from having my way? It sounds oh so farcical, I must say. It drives me crazy to hear people say, if it wasn't for the white man holding me back, the Spanish man taking the land, or the black man killing and stealing, then the world itself would be better for living. I say to you, when will the blame game end? How hard is it for us to sit down for a minute and begin to think about the situation that presents itself to us? When will we acknowledge that you can be born into poverty, but after your childhood days it will be your own fault if you still don't own property? When will we acknowledge that the color of our skin has never been a curse, unless you look at all the negative sides of being that color? Then of course the side effects of it works in reverse. When will we all recognize that love is more powerful than war? That if we were to all sit at the table together and talk, the term itself would be erased from the vocabulary. I stand before you with love in my heart asking you, what is war? When will we realize that the pain we suffer and the mental slavery we're under is because we talk when it's not necessary and sit in silence when we have the opportunity to help each other? I could honestly go on forever, which is kind of like the blame game itself. Even back hundreds of years, we had blacks angry at whites for slavery. They don't realize before the whites, and even now that we are free, we still continue to enslave ourselves. The blame game within itself forces all responsibility. The blame game within itself forces all responsibility onto the recipient being called out. I stand before you a man that no longer plays the blame game because I acknowledge that with excuses come lack of progress and personal gain. I realize that the world is beautiful but the people in it aren't. But having a negative view on the world or the people in it only makes you as unattractive as the things you see in it. I have surpassed the blame game and raised my hand high because I am no longer ashamed to admit to my weaknesses and my mistakes and accept responsibility for the things that are placed upon my plate. Newton was right, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. But the thing he left out is the relationship of the reaction. For every negative cause that climbs into your life, there should be an equally positive thought that produces yet another positive reaction. I've done it and so can you. When anything in your life occurs, think it through. Ask yourself, how could I have changed it? How could I have prevented it? What could I have done? Because as long as we are pointing fingers, nothing ever will change, and the tasks that lay ahead of us will never get done. Taking responsibility, I admit, can be hard. But as long as we have excuses, we'll forever live in this facade that your life isn't perfect because others made it that way. We must realize we're not perfect, then refuse to remain that way. I say to you, nearly everything that happens to you is your fault, and no one else's. Seek within yourself for acceptance and change. It's the only way you can escape the subconscious blame game. See you next week.